Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to Yonhap News Agency, South Korea's Supreme Court on Thursday upheld a 7-year prison term for former President Yoon Yeol on charges of obstruction of justice. This marks the top court's first final ruling against Yoon, who is currently facing a total of 8 trials stemming from his failed declaration of emergency martial law on December 3, 2024. The obstruction of justice charges involve Yoon's actions in January 2025, when he allegedly ordered presidential bodyguards to block investigators from executing a warrant to detain him. He was also convicted of other charges, including abuse of power, falsifying public documents, and violating the rights of cabinet members by failing to call them to a meeting to review the martial law plan. While the Supreme Court upheld the 7-year sentence from the appeals court, Yoon's legal team has vowed to challenge the ruling's constitutionality. Meanwhile, Yoon's separate and primary trial on charges of leading an insurrection, for which a lower court previously sentenced him to life in prison, is still ongoing at the appellate court level. According to NPR, the United States has launched a new wave of major airstrikes against Iran, targeting approximately 90 military and logistical sites, including airport runways, missile launchers, and bridges. This escalation followed statements by U.S. President Donald Trump declaring the fragile interim ceasefire to be over after recent Iranian attacks on shipping vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. In retaliation to the U.S. strikes, Tehran fired back at Gulf Arab nations hosting U.S. military assets, specifically targeting Bahrain, Kuwait, and Qatar with drones and missiles. The escalation has resulted in multiple casualties in Iran and sparked widespread fears that full-scale war could resume, causing global oil prices to surge. While President Trump expressed skepticism about the ongoing peace talks, he indicated that U.S. representatives would be permitted to continue negotiations. The renewed violence disrupts what was intended to be a period of lower tensions during the funeral services for the late Iranian Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. According to a report by Yoon, Donald Trump has claimed that Iranian officials contacted him directly, stating that they want to make a deal. The assertion comes amid long-standing geopolitical tensions between the United States and Iran. Trump's remarks suggest a potential opening for diplomatic talks, although further details regarding the nature of the communication, the timeline, or the specific terms of any proposed agreement were not immediately made available. According to Kodo News, the yield on Japan's benchmark 10-year government bond briefly climbed to 2.904% on Thursday afternoon, reaching its highest level since November 1996. The sharp rise in bond yields, which move inversely to bond prices, was triggered by escalating tensions in the Middle East. Renewed conflict between the United States and Iran pushed crude oil futures upward, intensifying concerns about inflation in resource-poor Japan, which relies heavily on energy imports. Additionally, investor anxieties surrounding Japan's fiscal health under Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's responsible, proactive fiscal policy accelerated the sell-off of government bonds. In foreign exchange markets, the U.S. dollar remained strong, trading near the mid-162 yen level in Tokyo, as Middle East risks boosted safe haven dollar demand. Despite these macroeconomic concerns, the domestic stock market showed resilience. The benchmark Nikkei 225 index rose by over 2% during the day, bolstered by gains in semiconductor-related shares amid positive growth expectations for chip companies. According to the Mainichi Shimbun, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, is preparing to invite the foreign minister of Myanmar's pro-military government to an extraordinary foreign ministers meeting in Bangkok on July 12th. This move represents a significant policy shift for ASEAN, which has excluded Myanmar's leaders and ministers from its major summits and high-level meetings since the 2021 military coup. The transition toward re-engagement is reportedly being driven by Thailand, which advocates for dialogue, while countries previously critical of the junta, like Indonesia and Malaysia, have also recently sent foreign ministers to Myanmar. The upcoming meeting is expected to discuss whether Myanmar's head of state can attend the ASEAN summit this autumn. This development follows Myanmar's recent general election and the subsequent formation of a pro-military government in April 2026, led by President Min Aung Hlaing. To facilitate its return to ASEAN, the regime has made minor concessions, such as placing democracy leader Aung San Suu Kyi under house arrest. However, since the junta has failed to implement ASEAN's 5-point consensus, the invitation is expected to face opposition from other member nations and democratic groups. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.